elite Big Ten basketball game today. Give Mike and his team a lot of credit. That's a really good basketball team today that was very well prepared, and we knew we were going to be in for a fight. We knew we were going to have some punches thrown at us. We knew it was going to be a sellout crowd, and it's what makes this program what it is. But I was really pleased to be only down 2. I thought we withstood their energy, their emotion. I thought I'm never real comfortable when Jake's not on the court. He does so many things for us, shooting it and passing. But we survived with him. We got out of sorts a little bit in stretches in the first half. But I thought the second half, our defense was terrific. We held the team to 21 points. I thought our offense allowed our defense to be great simply because we kept them out of transition. And you start talking about Trent Frazier's night, how spectacular was he? And he eats up pressure. And Xavier Johnson's as good as there is in our league at pressuring. He's a very good player. They had success early in their ball screens, but again, that takes a lot of energy to do that. And and then it was feed Kofi late, and Kofi made great passes. We made extra passes. We made 6 threes. Jake's 2 threes were huge. We just kind of went to some high-low stuff during that sequence, kind of opened the paint up. Trent got downhill, got a couple layups, and kind of broke the game open there with a few stops.
What sort of allowed you guys to escape the rock fight sort of nature of the first half?
Yeah, I thought it was that sequence right there. I mean, it's a really close game, and Jake hits a couple of threes, and we're, it's just kind of a grind it, and they're so good defensively, and we got a couple good looks and missed them, and we liked what we were running, and Luke got a clean look, and Jake had one earlier, and we went to that, and then defensively, we got stops and forced some tough shots. I thought we did a terrific job on Parker. He had an elite first half. He's a really good player, really good shooter. I thought we minimized his looks. And then Kofi did a good job of one-on-one isolation defense against Trace.
Brad, talk a little bit about getting Indiana in foul trouble. It kind of messed up the rhythm. You sent Trace to the bench in the first half, and then Durr got in foul trouble. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean Kofi attracts a lot of attention. You've got to decide if you're going to double him. You got to decide if you're going to play him one-on-one. His game has grown so much. 2 years ago he was just a catch and had to lay it in and had to have an angle. Now he doesn't have to have any of that, and so that's an important piece for us. He gets fouled a lot. I thought there were some that didn't get called, but again, he's a challenge because he's so big at 300 pounds.
Brad, in the first half, it seemed like you fouled a lot of shooters coming off screens, and was in the second half, did you make an adjustment the way you were defending those ball screens, or was it just better execution?
Better execution. We talked about it. We felt like our half-court defense was pretty good in the first half. We just fouled them, and we had a silly back tap play. We had we tried to back tap. We had one that was on the wrist and on the elbow, and just plays you can't do. You can't foul shooters, and that's it. We preach all the time those are defensive mistakes, and we just executed better, Brad.
Brad, you mentioned the follow-up on Trent Frazier and Xavier Johnson matchup. First half, the stat sheet looked pretty even. Is that something that you talk about at halftime, or does Trent know that that's just something that he's got to?
The one thing I never worry about is Trent Frazier ever getting tired. Okay, and he is. I've said it many times. He's the Energizer Bunny. He can break people with his conditioning, and he is special. I mean, very, very special when it comes to that. He hardly ever gets tired. We actually got him a good stint in the first half, but it's I thought was a factor in the game, maybe not, they may disagree, but I thought, you know, that Trent wore them down a little bit with that, and it's hard to pick up full court. A tribute to Xavier, because he's a really good player, and one of the better guards in this league, and you know, I thought Trent, second half just kind of got it tired a little bit.
Brad, when you're in a stretch right now, what you guys are going in this league, where you're playing tough place to play after tough place to play after tough place, is the grind more physical or mental or both?
You know, I think every game has its own personality, its own identity. This one was different than Wisconsin. You know, you've got different challenges. I think it's you know, everybody talks about, you guys talk about it, I don't. The dog days of February or whatever, I don't. You gotta understand your clear picture of what you're playing for, and how you go do that. I think we went through one of the most challenging stretches last year, maybe in a long time, you know, with all the COVID games and ended with 5 or 6 on the road. So it is what it is. It's the best league in the country. Every venue's hard and challenging, and we're gonna go from Assembly Hall to Mackey, and we can't change that, so we're gonna show up and hopefully bring our best game and best effort.
Coach, on that note, you guys have won 13 of your last 15 Big Ten road games. What have you noticed about the confidence or just the approach when you walk into a building like this and the ability to win? And what's that evolution been like for your program?
Well, I think we won 1 our first 2 years, or pretty close. But you get older, you develop poise. You have guys that don't get rattled. You've got good players. It's a combination of that, and then toughness, grit, fight. I mean, you know, I clench my jaw every time we talk about, you know, road games. I mean, it's you got to have it, and it's really hard to do. And you know, this is a historic program with unbelievable crowd. It's one of the loudest crowds in the country, and I thought we held our poise, and we've done that at different times throughout that run.
Brad, what were your thoughts on the ball movement today? It just seemed like you guys went from a good shot to a wide open great shot with an extra pass a lot today.
At times, first half we got stagnant. First half we got really, you know, they did a very good job of denying and overplaying and taking our reversal away. It's one of the reasons I like Jake in the game. And you know, I thought the second half, once we cracked the seal of it, and got inside the defense a little bit, yeah, then our ball movement became pretty doggone good. And you know, our goal tonight was 10 or under turnovers. We were at 10. I'll take that number against that defense, because they're really good defensively, guys. That's one of the better defensive teams in the league.
Brad, DeMonte looks to be getting more confidence shooting the ball from 3. Was that a conscious effort from you guys to get him to get more shots?
We want DeMonte shooting the ball a lot. DeMonte's a really good shooter, and you know, again, you know, it's been well documented. DeMonte plays every role for us, and you know, we don't talk about the job that he did guarding a guy 5 inches taller than him tonight, and but we want DeMonte shooting the ball when he's got clean looks, because those are going to go in, and you know, we know he's going to make them.
And we've talked about how much having Kofi back is helping Grandison. Is it the same kind of thing with Kofi and DeMonte, and now Gus Crivello being back?
What happens to be with Kofi about everybody. I mean, he's a great player, and great players elevate other guys around him, and he's got that ability to do that, and he's playing so unselfish, and you know, that's a sign of a terrific player.
What explanation were you given for that sequence in the first half with it looked like Bella was tripped and then moved, and it seemed like that was the time that could have kind of unraveled early in the game? How did you guys maybe piece that back together?
Yeah, it's why Bo's one of the best officials out there, and I mean that in all sincerity. I don't talk about officials. Bo said they missed it, and that happens, and it was a flagrant, and there wasn't any doubt about that one. But they missed it, and you know, I can be mad, but man, I cool my jets really quick when I actually get one of those guys to admit that they made a mistake and missed something, because it very rarely happens that they do that. But that's why Bo's one of the best.
how did you guys kind of piece it back? Because they went on a little small run, and it was.
Yeah, I mean, those can be momentum swings and the crowd's into it and this and that. It's just the sign of a veteran team, poise and patience. DeMonte's in the huddle, we're good. We'll get through this and just, and Trent's like, there's always a calming effect in the huddle with those guys.
Was there anything that changed at halftime or anything said defensively that hold them to 21 points?
Quit fouling. Literally, quit fouling. We didn't have to make a lot of changes. Our first shot defense was pretty good the first half. They got to the foul line and we lost Stewart on one in transition 3. I felt the game at halftime would be if we could keep them out of transition again. And, that's which comes first, great defense or great offense but I thought our offense had a lot to do with us playing really good defense. But if we can keep them off the line, I felt pretty good about it.
Last year, I think you guys had maybe the most quad 1 wins or close to it. How important is maybe the last 2 weeks getting 3?
You're way ahead of me. Again, it's game by game. I look at it at the end of the year. I don't even know how many we had last year. We've got singular goals, we've got team goals, and the next one's Purdue, and they're quad 1, obviously. They're 2 or 3 in the country, and I don't look at it, but yeah, I mean, you want to obviously win games and build the best resume you can at the end of the year, so you're in the best position you can be. But do I look at it? No, I don't.
Kofi was 1 for 5 in the field at one point. What changed in the second half for him to put it together?
We got him the ball, and first of all, a little deeper. Secondly, Derek, he was a little more aggressive. He shot a couple off balance. Kofi doesn't usually shoot balls off balance much, but he was pretty dialed in. The second half, he had a little more assertiveness.
But especially with last year being empty, it seems to me like it's been a while since you guys have been in an atmosphere. Well, I know you've had road games, which is a pretty good one. Was there discussion with your guys to kind of understand how to withstand some of those big swings in the building?
We just talked about poise. We talked about echoing calls. The one thing that's really challenging is you verbalize a call and making sure that the guy on the other side of the court hears it. And but other than that, we've kind of been there, done that before.
Brad, I'm just wondering how you're going to talk Kofi into maybe staying another year after this year.
We'll deal with that then. Right now, it's Purdue.
In the first half, you guys maybe hesitated on some open looks. Was that by design because they were going to close out hard and you were going to put it on the floor, or was it? It was
not by design. We're an elite 3-point shooting team, and believe me, I want him shooting it. And Plummer kept us in it early, and with his aggressiveness and we never want to turn it down. We've got to find that right balance, and I want them to have the right balance of understanding. Okay, Kofi's gone 3 trips without one. We probably need to get him one, and or vice versa. So it's I got a little concerned in the first half against Wisconsin because we were Kofi, and we weren't getting those other guys enough looks. So it's a fine balance, but I never want them turning shots down.
When the schedule came out in August, did you have any special thought about a home game in Indiana or a big crowd in February?
I just know that I have no control over it, and it's literally, guys, and I'm shows how simple I am. I think I don't look ahead. I just look at the next game. And when they called me a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and said they were going to have to move the Purdue date, I said, no, that'll be an interesting Indiana swing. So it is what it is. I don't change it. I really don't waste much thought on dwelling on something I can't control.
Brad, you said you always want Jake in the game, but is there something to be said for being able to put RJ and Luke in a situation like you did today and have them grow?
Absolutely. And I hope it shows my confidence in that those young guys can play. And I'm in. Those guys are good players. They can do some good things.
You learn at this point in the season from a game like this, anything you can learn about your team from a game like this, you're gonna have a half win on the road.
Sure. Like I said, I've learned a lot about Luke and RJ, and character, and you know where to go, and you know who's going to react to a hostile crowd and how they react, and I continue to learn every game something.
Brad, I know Kofi doesn't get all the credit in the world defensively most of the time with Demonte and Trent. How important was he kind of on Trace to kind of open up everybody else, and that kind of important right now?
Kofi's an elite defender, and we talk about, you know, just remove 7 foot 300 from back there, and just the physicality that Kofi provides. Kofi wears a lot of people down just by the lean and the contact, the physicality, and he's got great feet, and tonight he was extra special because he made everything Trace shot come over the top, and there were very few angle baskets for him.
Coleman comes back tonight and gets 9 minutes, a little bit more productive and more engaged.
Great defensively.
Yeah.
Great defensively, and you know it was a great defensively. I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. He made a big stunt play that deflected a ball late. I knew we would need his size, you know, with Race, who I think is one of the most improved players in our league. But again, it gets harder when you feel so good about Demonte and you feel so good about Jake and the rhythm that they're in. But Coleman's growth, and he showed some today, was tremendous.
2 questions. You got it.
Oh, we're done. Thank you.
Kofi,